So we had an interesting comment by Odie on the last video for the spear saying that coup de grace might not actually be worth the talent point and it might be worth just doing an extra double light attack for the extra damage and the cooldown reduction. That seems right, and it got me thinking, let's test coup de grace. Hi guys, it's me, Danimal. I'm back again with another video, but this time it's a little bit different. Instead of doing one of the guide videos, we're actually doing a look-in and a theory crafting on a talent point and testing it out to see if it's actually worth it. The talent point in question this time, highlighted by Odie, which I want to extend my thanks to for bringing it up. It's the second talent point for sweep for the spear, called coup de grace. I actually felt the same thing on the same day when I was playing, which was really weird because it popped up on my phone to tell me that I've got a notification, and boom. Here we are. Is coup de grace actually worth it? Or can you do light attacks, even a heavy attack? Well, we've put it to the test. Lastly, I just want to extend my thanks to all of the new subscribers. You guys are welcome here. I hope you enjoy your stay. Keep showing the support and I'll keep making the videos. You guys are the best. Now, without further ado, let's get into the video and let's discuss coup de grace. So coup de grace is in the zona tree for the spear in the 4th row down, and it's the second accompanying talent point for the move sweep. Coup de grace tooltip reads, press the basic attack during sweep to follow up with a powerful downward stab that deals 120% weapon damage. This looks great on paper, but in theory, does it work? And is it worth just sacrificing a double light attack or even a heavy attack? So what was the best way for me to test this? Well, dueling my friend. He wears light armor, so he has the full CC duration, so the sweep will be there for the maximum amount of time, and I can control the battlefield and ask him to do certain things to aid with the testing, and then we can both discuss with the damage and what's worth and what's more scary. So let's kick in with the first example. As you can see, this is with coup de grace. We're just going to do a simple sweep, and then we're going to use coup de grace just to test the damage, following up with the light attacks just to see the speed of them as they come in afterwards. So the second example is without coup de grace with a double light attack afterwards. Did you see it? Coup de grace hit harder, but there was a double attack from the other one. Let's put it side by side. Coup de grace's hit came in a lot quicker. Let's slow it down. Now, do we notice that when sweep comes in exactly the same time, coup de grace's animation and damage marker hits a lot before the first light attack. However, when you do the double light attack, the second attack in the attack chain comes in a lot quicker than the first light attack after the coup de grace. Let's wind it back. As the attack comes in, the coup de grace comes down, then the light attack happens. The second light attack comes in, and then the first light attack comes in from after coup de grace. And then you've got a little bit after that, where the next light attack chains can come in. But surely that's it. Discussion over, right? Coup de grace isn't worth taking because you can just double light attack. But there's more. So for this example, I'm going to roll back to World of Warcraft. In World of Warcraft, when you stun someone for a long time, you usually open up a window to use your offensive cooldowns and deal as much damage as possible. And the way PvP works in WoW is that there's a lot of cooldown trading. You have major offensive cooldowns, you have major defensive cooldowns. Usually you want to push for a defensive cooldown so then you can use another offensive cooldown, or at least put some pressure on them with stuns to force them to either retreat and turtle up, heal up, do whatever they need to do, take them off the offense or secure the kill. Now this is definitely going somewhere, I promise, so hear me out. I'm going to show you an example of an arena match I had on my Feral Druid. Now with the Feral Druid having short offensive cooldowns, I know that I can straight off go on the offensive with all my cooldowns pop, and what I want to try and force is the Paladin's defensive cooldowns, whether it be his anti-stun trinket, which he should pop and then be able to get away so him and his healer can soak up some pressure, waste my cooldowns and then go on the offense themselves, or his invulnerability bubble that he can press to make him completely invincible and do the exact same thing. Now actually this doesn't happen and he sits into the stun. I pump all of my big damage into him, get some lucky crits, his healer can't react, which he obviously had faith in his healer to be able to heal him and was not expecting these lucky crits, and then eventually it just ended up in me globaling him, as we call in World of Warcraft. But how does this translate into New World, you ask? Like we said with World of Warcraft, stuns and knockdowns, they're all CC to gain advantages to be able to deal damage onto the opponent. If you lock them down, you can put more damage into them, and then you can have the advantage in the battle, whether you want to go on the offense or the defense, whichever you need to do in that situation. Defensively, New World works a bit different to WoW. We know that. You have dodging and blocking, and we needed to take this into account when figuring out if coup de grace was actually worth the talent point. So what I did was I asked my pal to duel me again, and then as soon as he got sweeped, to spam his dodge button to dodge as soon as he possibly could when he got out of the sweep, to see how this affects the coup de grace / the light attacks. Here's the results. So the first example we have is with coup de grace and the dodge. As you can see, when the first light attack comes in and the second one, he dodges both. I'm going to slow that down just so we can watch it again. You can watch the hit markers and watch exactly when he dodges and the time in between the coup de grace and the dodge to see what actually happens. Sweep comes in, coup de grace comes in, he gets up now. That's where you see the light attack come in and the stamina go down and the dodges happen. So coup de grace can only get the one hit off. What about the light attacks? The light attack comes in. As the second light attack comes in, it already starts the dodge animation and it goes. And the same results happen. So now this leaves us with a little bit of a dilemma and some thinking to do and some conclusions to draw. Now before I come to my conclusion, I have to kind of explain the way that I see PvP and the way that I approach other players when fighting them. Now I always expect a player to play flawlessly. I always expect them to counter every single thing that I do in a perfect flawless manner, which means then I have the control over the battlefield in my own mind, is that if they don't do something perfectly, I can punish them for it, but if they do, then I'm expecting it and I make my next moves one step ahead to try and counter that once that happens. So when I get sweeped, I would expect that big damage is coming in. Much like I said in World of Warcraft, I expect that when I'm stunned, lots of damage is coming in. So what I want to do is get that counter on. Now in New World, cooldowns are really quick. Stamina regens really fast, so I know that my defensive cooldown being a dodge, I know that as soon as I get sweeped, I want to just dodge out of there because big damage is coming in. The speed of coup de grace kind of eliminates that. As we saw in the examples, they only got one light attack off and they only got one coup de grace off, but the coup de grace does 125% weapon damage where the light attack does 100%. So when I was looking at it, I thought, well, what if a heavy attack could hit? What if a heavy attack comes in? That's 130. A charged heavy attack is 160% weapon damage. Is coup de grace not worth it because you could heavy attack after you sweep? Would the ideal situation be sweep heavy attack or sweep charged heavy attack? So I got a friend of mine that wears heavy armor to duel me so that he has the maximum CC duration reduction, meaning that sweep will be at its lowest point. Now I want to be able to fight every single armor class. If you come against someone heavy, you're going to have to expect that that sweep is going to last a lot less longer than it is against a light person. So you're going to have to prepare for all situations. Here's the results of that. So the sweep comes in, the heavy attack comes in, and it is dodged. We tried it again and over to see if I could land this, and it's still dodged. Then I slowed them down, put them side by side so you can see that both attacks, both miss when dodged. So that you cannot actually hit a heavy attack after the sweep, especially on a heavy armor target. So in conclusion, is coup de grace actually worth the talent point? My personal opinion, yes. As we can see from the examples, coup de grace is a lot faster. Coup de grace does more damage than one single light attack. You can't get a second light attack in if you're playing against a good player that's going to dodge after your sweep. The light attacks are better if you're playing against a worse player who doesn't get out of your CC by running as soon as they possibly can or dodging as soon as they possibly can. They're going to get hit by the second light attack. But we have to assume, like we said, that we're fighting against good players at all times. The damage from coup de grace is only going to get larger from the multipliers that you have in the build, like exposed weakness, like the execute damage. And then we have to think about the very, very last point of PvP in New World, is that it's not always 1v1, it's not always 2v1, it's sometimes 2v2, it's sometimes 3v2. You have to take into account that while you're doing your light attacks, coup de grace heavy attacks, you might get hit by someone else, you might get stunned by someone else, which then means the speed of coup de grace comes in even more useful because you'll sweep coup de grace very quickly, whereas you might go sweep light attack but get interrupted during that light attack. And then you've got to consider other players on your team, and other players that you're with might have a warhammer. It might come in like a dick and shockwave them out of your sweep, which means that your coup de grace is more likely to hit than the light attack because you've got that tiny little second gap window where it takes from doing the light attack and the coup de grace damage. So in conclusion, I personally think coup de grace is worth the talent point just because the pure speed, the pure damage that you can get off quickly. If you're playing more tactically and you want to just hit and move, which you should be doing with the spear anyway, I think you can't go wrong with having coup de grace in the spec. So there we go, guys. That wraps up my coup de grace video. I hope that it has been useful for you. I hope that maybe if you were umming and ahhing about it at the same times as we were, that you now have a conclusion and you feel maybe the same way, or maybe you don't. Let me know in the comments. Had a lot of fun making this video. So if you guys actually have any talent points that are maybe overrated and that are actually a bit of a a bit of a cap, as the kids are saying nowadays. I don't know why. I look bold. Oh. Talent points that people might actually think are good but are not. And alternatively, if you have any talent points that you think are really good but other people may be sleeping on or perhaps think are rubbish, let's get in, let's test them out and make videos from them. So lastly, to wrap this all up, thank you for your ever-going support as always. I hope you have a good evening, good afternoon, good morning, good day, whatever you're doing today. Stay happy, stay healthy, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out.